Welcome. My name is Davis-Paepke and I will be facilitating this circle. I'd like to begin by telling you a little bit about our process today and letting everyone introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. We are using a circle format, and there will be a few guidelines or agreements and a set series of questions. Today we will use a talking piece, and I've brought this web to represent the interconnectedness of everyone in the circle, and thank you for agreeing to participate. The talking piece is a visual reminder to us that one person talks at a time, and we pass the talking piece to one another as we move through the circle. We are all here from different places today, but we've come together out of concern for one issue. I ask that we recognize that we share equal voices in this process and that we show mutual respect to one another. We may not always agree with one another, but we will listen with an open mind and trust the process that brought us here today to come to a positive resolution. I know that this is a unique process for many of you, and I appreciate you opening your mind to trying something new. Please know that I want for everyone to be honest, to speak from the heart, and to speak your truth. I will honor the right to pass, but I want everyone to take the opportunity to share what they'd like to as we come to resolution. Sometimes the right to pass is a little more time for someone to think, so we often will make time for a second time around the circle for people who did not answer the first time. Other times the right to pass means that there's discomfort. Please take a moment to feel and experience that discomfort as well. It may help us gain empathy for others as we begin to understand someone or something in a different way. My hope is that everyone will share in every question, but I do respect your right to pass if that's needed. And finally, confidentiality is very important in this process. We are discussing both school discipline and police involvement that happened for 2 students, and it is critical that what's shared in this circle and the participants of this circle remain confidential. If anyone needs to follow up on something outside of the time we're together, please talk directly with me or Mrs. Gex. At this time, I'd like to take a moment for each of you to introduce yourself and the role that brings you to this circle. Again, my name is Davis-Paepke. I'm the Director of Student Engagement for the district, and I work with all schools in the district in restorative practices. I represent the administration at the COLAC Center today.
My name is Shauna. I'm one of the students who made the 911 call.
I'm Ms. Scoville, a math teacher, and the incident happened in my room.
My name is Chris LeMaster. I'm a teacher at Roy Chapman Andrews Academy, and we're in the same building.
Dan Stoffer, I'm the Safety and Security Coordinator for the White School District.
Robin Stutt, I'm a family specialist in the school district, and I'm also have an office in this building.
My name is Ms. Lori Medina, and I am the hearing officer for the School District of Beloit.
My name is Jamie Linder. I'm a police officer with the City of Beloit who responded to this call.
My name is Tina Gex, and I'm the principal of the Beloit Learning Academy.
Thank you. Again, thank you all for attending. I know that this can be difficult for all of you, but all of your presence will help us with the matter that has brought us together today. This is an opportunity for each of you to be part of the healing process and moving on to repair the harm that has been done. Today's circle will focus on an incident that happened on March 9th here at the Wright School building. It is important for all of us to understand that we will focus on what Shauna did that day and how that unacceptable behavior has affected others. We are not here today to determine whether Shauna is good or bad. We want to explore in what way people have been affected and hopefully explore how we can work towards repairing the harm that resulted. Does everyone understand this? Shauna has admitted her part in this incident, and Shauna, I must tell you that you do not have to participate in this circle. You're free to leave at any time, as is anyone else. If you do leave, please know that the matter would be referred back to Ms. Medina, our hearing officer, for an expulsion hearing. This matter, however, may be finalized if you participate in a positive manner and comply with the conference agreement. Do you understand? So we'll start the rounds in the circle with questions always starting with Shauna. Everyone will have the opportunity to respond to multiple questions, and please answer specifically to what the question is asking. Some of the questions may not pertain to you. For example, the first question is, what happened? If you didn't learn about the incident until after it occurred, you may not need to answer the first question. So I will start with Shauna to answer just that question. What happened?
My friend and I were in math class. We took Dan's phone, and she called 911 saying there was a bomb here, and I recorded it on Snapchat.
All I knew at the time was Mr. Ronan answered his phone during class, which I was shocked because he never did, so I didn't find out till later what had actually happened.
I was not in the building at the time, but I heard over the radio about a possible bomb threat at the school, so I came here right away, and I'm thinking about all things that's gonna have to happen, who's getting involved, which different agencies, and just all it's gonna entail if it really was a bomb involved.
I did not know about the incident until it was brought to me for hearing.
I was preparing for an after-school staff meeting and came out into the hall, and there were policemen there. And it's like, oh, what happened here? And then said it was a 911 call. I didn't at that time realize it was a bomb scare, but I thought, oh, there must be a mistake, especially when I heard who it was. So it just all kind of a big surprise, big surprise.
Our second question also goes to everyone, and I'll start again with Shauna. Shauna, what were you thinking about at that time?
I thought it was funny and not a big deal.
I guess I just thought there was a disturbance and it was taking my students off task. I didn't really know what it was, and we kind of redirected and got back to work, but I mean, there was lost time.
I think I was just thinking about, is this the truth? Maybe kids are, causing drama or just exaggerating it. I was thinking that I just had to wait to see. It didn't seem like something that really happened, that somebody would really call in a bomb threat.
I was thinking about the safety of the community as I was responding, because it goes far beyond the school building itself into the greater area and Beloit as a whole.
This is another question that everyone will have the chance to answer. This happened quite a while ago, March 9th, so some time has passed, and I wonder, what have you thought about since?
What I thought about is what's going to happen to these two students and what's their future going to hold. They've been very good kids, so I'm thinking what's going to be the consequence.
After I found out what happened, I think what I thought about was kind of the impact on our school and the students upstairs, and we're a choice school, just like you guys are, but it's a different kind of a choice. It's a project-based thing, so parents, choose to have their kids come here for a different sort of educational learning environment, and there's this always sort of this idea about, is this a safe place, and what kind of kids are downstairs, and there's always that concern. So when I found out what had happened and all the police were here, I was concerned that our parents would be saying, oh, see, that's exactly what we thought. That's what we think in the community of this place. And people outside of this building who don't know what goes on here are going to look at it and say, yep, see, what do you expect from that place? So I was worried it might impact our ability to even continue as a school.
A couple of things. It's a great opportunity for her, because I mentioned this is a felony. It could have been a felony, and which means prison. And for a lot of reasons that can mess up your life, and this is a great chance for you to make it right.
I think you think of a lot of things, just like Ms. Studd just alluded to. We've done a lot of work, to try to build the reputation of our school and to really support our kids. And truly, boy, being that it was you and the other student, it's almost like those are you kids would be two that I would have said were our model kids. Kids that had been through the program and had really demonstrated change, had really decided to do it differently. But I am also very thankful that we have an opportunity like this, because I know that typically bomb scare is automatically expelled from school. And we know that that's not in the best interest of kids, especially you girls.
For this round, I'm going to start with a question that's specific to Shauna, and then I'll do a follow-up question for the rest of you. So Shauna, who has been impacted by your actions, and in what way?
The school, because the word got around fast and I made it look bad, and also me, because it can affect my future if I got expelled.
For the rest of you, what is the impact that this incident had on you and others?
The impact it had on me is it happened in my classroom, so I I'm wondering what was going on. I thought the kids were working together in the groups, but evidently they were not. So it impacted me because then I'm thinking, are people going to view me as not paying attention to my students? But they were good kids and they worked independently very well. And it affected everybody in this building, so.
Yeah, again, I think I have to agree that it impacted me the most with just the reputation of the school.
I think there's a few different ways that I feel impacted. The police officer side is one thing, but I'm also a community member. I'm also a community member with children. And it makes you have to think about the safety of your own community and your own family. But then every day during school hours, my job is to protect the community and to make a safe environment.
So our final round, we'll start with a question for Shauna, and then again, we'll change slightly for the rest of you. So Shauna, when you think about the things that you've heard and how our goal is to move forward from this, what do you think you need to do to make things right?
I want to change how people think of right school.
I'd like to believe that out of something bad, something good can come. And I mean, ideally, the way I'd like to see you make it right is if you had the ability and the will to publicly talk about this mistake, how it impacted people, and what you learned from it, so that others may be able to learn from that too, and know that, like, you know, a joke or a mistake can have huge consequences, may perhaps stop others from doing that themselves.
I struggle with making the right decision all the time. What I would like to see is follow through, because if there's not, my only other decision would be to make the decision of expulsion. I'd have to go through with it.
So to kind of summarize what we've talked about today, she fully agreed to participate with us today. She met with me and other staff who are with us several times prior to this circle, and she participated in the administrative hearing with Ms. Medina. The decision was made that this was an expellable offense, but in lieu of that expulsion, she would attend this formal conference, and whatever agreement we come up with as a group is how we will move forward. So she shared the idea of creating a video to change the perception of BLA and help people see another side of it, as well as doing some community service. She'd like to work with other students in creating that video and help eliminate negative stereotypes that exist around the school. Additionally, she has received a municipal citation from the city of Beloit, and she will need to go to court for that and pay the fine. Shauna, what do you think of these suggestions?
I want to do that and change people's minds about me.
Does anyone else have suggestions or any ideas they want to share? And we'll just do one more round of the circle for that.
To me, there are 3 levels here. There's your personal level, right? And you need to kind of, I mean, that's up to you. But there's also the effect you had on, like, the people around you. And it sounds like your plan's very much about the community, but I kind of wonder about, you know, the student whose phone you borrowed, or the students who were here, or everybody else in the building. So I think it's absolutely appropriate to do sort of this sort of global and try to pick that up. But there's sort of the community here that has more details, and they know you and they're around you. So I think you may want to think about adding something that is restorative to us in the building. You know, I mean, I really like the fact that you want to step out and do this community piece, and that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, just think of those different levels that was affected. So
We're here to help you. So as you get going on this journey of restoration, you sometimes are going to want to give up, and you're not going to want to do it. So you need to stand fast and know that this is absolutely necessary, but that we're here to help you. So if you start feeling, you know, oh, I can't and I don't want to and this doesn't feel good anymore, you make sure that you reach out to Ms. Paepke, make sure that you reach out to me, to Ms. Scoville, to anybody else in this building, because we've got you. And we know that recovery and restoration is difficult and it takes time, and you can't do it alone.
So at this point, an agreement with everyone here, including the feedback that we've received from all of you, will be written, and I will share that with Shauna's parents, and they will also sign the agreement. I appreciate all of you taking the time to join us today and giving your time so that this could be a meaningful way for Shauna to be able to recognize that her actions do have bigger consequences but also that her education is very important. So Shauna, we started at the beginning saying that we created this circle as a representation of how we're all connected as a part of this. And I hope that as you heard the voices of everyone in the group, you really do feel that this connection will stay with you. So I'd like to give you this to remind you of the people who are there for you. And we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.